All right, we're live post game here. We'll give you time to populate. Wait for Taylor Korn to join us live from Neville Arena here in a second as soon as she jumps on here after a Auburn win tonight, 99-81. Our coverage of college basketball all year long being brought to you by our friends at McCurry Car and Truck Rental. Brandon, tell us about them as we get Taylor on here in a second and talk about this win for Auburn, their first top 20 win of the year.
Yeah, local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of trucks, SUVs, passenger vans, easy to rent, in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Wilson Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest and Skyland Boulevard. Reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryRentals.com.
Thank you to them. Actually, some cars and vans and trucks, whatever we want to drive to the games the rest of the year. Taylor's there. She's been giving you coverage all day long from Neville Arena, so we'll get her on momentarily, and then she'll make her way into the postgame. The outcome of the game doesn't surprise me at all, Brown. The way it ended up being played is what surprised me. I thought Auburn would win the game, had a feeling it would be a little bit of a blowout, did not think it would work out to where Auburn would score 99 points in the process of doing this and just dominate on the inside.
Well, it was 30-18 at the 10:30 mark, and Auburn looked like they were doing after Alabama had a pretty good start, looked like they were doing everything right, and Alabama, didn't know which way to shoot it. And then you got to give Alabama credit. They pushed it back. They tied it up. Alabama did 36-36 at the 4:39 mark. So in about 6 minutes, Alabama went from 12 to a tie ball game, and it was never close after that. Auburn went on that run at the end of the half, 36-36 at the 4:39 mark, and at halftime it's 55-41, and it was a blowout from that point on.
I mean, averages and stats, people say, things are maybe you overanalyze with stats and something. Auburn's been holding teams to about 38% shooting from the field. Their defense has been that good. Tonight, Alabama shoots 37.3% from the field, right at what Auburn usually does. They hit 42%. To me, though, it was the paints and the point. The way we thought Auburn could beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and I remember after the game, we all talked about Auburn didn't seem to really play to their strengths in the game in Tuscaloosa that Alabama won. Tonight, that's all they did was play this game in the paint, and you see the separation, 99-81.
Well, I mean, when you get 50 combined points from Jalen Williams and Jani Broome, that is going to be Alabama would have had to shoot lights out from beyond the arc to overcome giving up 50 points to those two players, and Alabama did not do that. They shot 9 of 26 from beyond the arc. I mean, if you're going to give up 50 points to those two guys, you better be hitting 15, 16, 17 threes to be in that ball game. So you got to give Auburn credit. If they call it criticism, and they did, for maybe not going to Jani Broome enough in Tuscaloosa, Jalen Williams and Jani Broome a combined 29 field goal attempts and scored a combined 50 points. So they were a massive part of the game plan tonight.
I want to see what the Auburn fans think, but the guards. I mean, we'll focus on the paint, but the ball has to get up the floor and get into those guys through those guards. And I think I marked it down at the 2:55 mark left in the game is when Auburn committed their 5th turnover. Yeah. They played almost 37 minutes of basketball against the first place team in the SEC and committed 4 turnovers. That's how good Trey Donaldson played and Aiden Holloway.
Yeah, I mean, they had 5 total turnovers. 2 of those came from Donaldson. Denver Jones did not turn it over. Neither did Holiday. Their guards played fantastic, Dunaway. And you look at the turnover to assist. Donaldson did have the 2 turnovers. He also had 4 assists. So, yeah, Auburn played a very clean game turnover-wise and created turnovers. They turned Alabama over, which has been a problem for Alabama. 15 Alabama turnovers. And Auburn did not turn the ball over. They only turned over 5 times, so plus 10 in turnovers. Wow. So, I mean, pretty much, and this is how you win 99-81, pretty much everywhere you look in the box score, Auburn had a significant advantage in this game.
Here's some reaction. G. Jerkabo, as I like to call him, belt to ass. He
is
says
correct.
There.
He's correct on that.
It was a big win tonight. Gets us in the loss column. a four-way tie for first place now with Alabama, Auburn with 2 losses. South Carolina's got 2 losses. Tennessee with 1 less win, but they too have 2 losses. Chip checks in with a War Damn Eagle. Auburn superfan with a War Damn Eagle there. Here's Troy, complete whipping. Big fan of Richard Nixon there, as he says. Thank you, Troy, for that.
That's the Lance Taylor phrase he used.
That works out really good there. I was surprised because I was in Tuscaloosa on the drive back
Right.
from what I had to do over there today. And so I'm catching the Auburn pregame show when Andy is talking to Bruce Pearl. And Bruce says on the pregame show, he actually says, this is, in his opinion, one of the 5 biggest games I've had as a head coach at Auburn.
What?
Going into this. Now,
Yeah.
he said that, and I was blown away. I instantly texted it to Taylor, and I was like, wow, Bruce is saying this is one of the 5 biggest games he's had at Auburn since he's been there. I'm sure he's talking regular season and everything.
Yeah. It's got to be regular season because just immediately I go, you want a Sweet 16 game to the Elite Eight, you want an Elite Eight game to the Final Four. Those 2 are easy number ones, right? And then the Final Four game that you lost would have been the 3rd biggest game. So, yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying though, Jim. They really, their best win was the Ole Miss win the other night. This is by far and away Auburn's best win. Alabama's best win is the Auburn win in Tuscaloosa. So they're gonna trade those. So, I mean, I get what he's saying. This is a team that has not had a key win to hang their hat on this year until this one. The way this goes in the metrics and where Alabama was in the SEC standings, you can hang your hat on this win.
Yeah, big win there. Tied for first place. A lot of basketball left. Alabama's schedule tough. You saw it at the end, the Auburn schedule. They get Kentucky and South Carolina at home. They still got to go to Tennessee. Everybody now with 8 basketball games to play, but both of these teams easily headed to the tournament. Jason, Bama fan here, but we are soft as hell. I mean, you're a guard team.
Yeah.
You're not built in the paint. There are 2 teams in the SEC you do not match up well with. That's Tennessee and that's Auburn. You've played Auburn now twice and you split with them. You got it handed to you in Knoxville, just like you got it handed to you tonight. Virtually the same score, almost the same type of game. You may have been in it a little bit longer tonight than you were in Knoxville. If you were lucky enough to get Tennessee in that last game of the regular season or next to last game, wherever that falls in the schedule in Tuscaloosa, and end up splitting with Auburn and Tennessee with the size difference,
that's a win.
That'd be a big win for Alabama.
Yeah, that'd be a huge win to get both home games. I think the big concern for Alabama is the 2 best teams they have played in the Southeastern Conference are Auburn and Tennessee. They're 1-2 against those 3 teams with another one left on to play. And you've been blown out twice. Now, both those are on the road. You don't have to play on the road in the postseason. I get that. But both those are on the road. Real quick, before you go to Alex's comment there, I want to go back to what he said about being soft. Had I told you that Alabama would miss Charles Bediako more than Brandon Miller, I think most people would have laughed at that. And I probably would not have said it in the offseason. Alabama's got plenty of offense without Brandon Miller. They miss Bediako to me more than they miss Miller.
Yeah, but that, if you just to use a football analogy, right? I don't think Alabama missed Jace McClellan as much as they would have missed Tyler Booker, or Terrion Arnold, because they had plenty of running backs. They didn't have some of those other guys. And I see what you're saying, that Brandon Miller is killing it at the NBA and he was their best scorer, but they have a lot of people that score the basketball. They don't have Bediako down low. So that's a great point. Sometimes you can be plentiful in one category and miss the only cog you have in that machine underneath. Alex, Auburn controlled the game 39-37 from that point on. And he's right about that. That 15-2 run before the half, that was the game. Alabama's now 1-5 trailing at the half. And I know that's just a stat, but that 15-2 run into the locker room, you could see the air leave the body of Alabama.
And then Alabama couldn't give it a shot, get a shot off at the end of the half. Sears gets stuck with the ball there at the end of the half. And that was kind of emblematic of the last 4 minutes of the half there. After Alabama came back and tied it at 36, it just fell apart for Alabama in the last 4 minutes, and that was too deep of a hole to get out of.
Bama Mariner, 0 fouls on Broome. Come on. Did he have 0 fouls, really? I don't have the stat sheet in front of me.
Broome did not have a personal foul. Fouls, though, fouls are, 33-28. Alabama 33 called fouls. and Auburn had 28 called fouls. But free throws were pretty even. I'll pull up the free throws real quick, Jim. But I mean, my gosh, there were a ton of them. Everybody shot a free throw tonight. They were pretty even until the last few minutes of the game. I think at the 10-minute mark, they were dead even at the 10-minute mark. Now, Auburn ended up shooting 50 free throws. Alabama shot 35. But at the 10-minute mark, when the game was basically over anyway, I think they were even at 28 at that time.
Yeah. I don't think officiating was the reason.
Not at all. Had zero impact on the game.
Was blown out like this.
Yeah,
Did I like the way it was officiated? No. But it was officiated the same way both ways.
Yeah, I don't like the way it was officiated because they called a billion fouls.
That's right.
That was on both teams. So, it didn't affect the outcome of the game. It just affected the way the game was played.
Right. It's just a lot of fouls.
Yeah.
There you see Blake's comment. Turnovers were the difference maker, 100%. And Auburn's defense. I mean, my goodness, Alabama, after they hit, what was the number of 3-pointers they hit early on?
I think at the 10-minute mark, Alabama, I think when they tied it at 36, they hit 8 threes.
They hit 8 3 and they ended up with 9.
That's right. And they ended up with 9. I need to go back and confirm that, but I think they had 8 threes and only ended up with 9.
It was at least 6. I know that.
Yeah, maybe it was 6.
Yeah.
But in 30 more minutes, they only hit 3 more threes. And Alabama's going to lose a ton of games doing that.
At that point, Alabama couldn't breathe out on the arc. Auburn's defense was tremendous out on the arc. All right, let's bring in Taylor Korn, who is down at Neville Arena with a smile on her face. Are you leaving? Are you walking outside?
Yes, I did it. I want to be able to talk freely, and I didn't want to get in trouble in there. And I know that the press conference room, I'm probably not even going to be able to walk in there, and it's going to be late. So
what about
enjoy my time?
You could have stood on the court.
Well, they were starting to get everyone off because the post-game show was wrapping up, and they were starting to shoot people. And I was like, I'm not trying to get
well, you got that
scolded.
credential. You got that credential.
No, I know, but it was like police. It wasn't they were saying like, hey.
You got a credential. They'll let you do a late live shot on the court.
Okay, well, I don't know. I wasn't trying to get anyone pissed off at me. and I don't know what I'm about to say, too. So I'm representing our company, so,
I hear you.
I'm trying to stay out of trouble, but wow. What a game.
Well, take us back to the beginning, guy. I told you what Bruce said pregame, that it was one of the 5 biggest games in his opinion since he's been a coach at Auburn for him. Did the atmosphere match that? It seemed that way on the radio broadcast and then the television broadcast.
100%. The one of the loudest it probably got was when Grant Nelson fouled out, I would say. They were going crazy. I was keeping my composure as the good media person I am, but it was extremely loud. It was extremely loud, and I think just from talking to the students that waited outside before the game, I think that it was Bama's won 3 of the last 3, so
that's right. 3 straight wins. 3 straight wins for them. You had a chance to get some video pregame, like Bruce in his pregame prayer. Some of the students talking. I know you talked to them at the half. They were feeling pretty good even at the half after that 15-2 run, I imagine.
Yeah, I got a little nervous. I don't know at what point in the first half it was, but after the way that we finished the second half, I felt very good. But then again, I feel like Alabama can shoot its way back into any game. So I'm also one that I'm not going to say anything till the game's over, because if something horrible happens, I'll feel like it's because I said something. So I kept my lips sealed until just now, actually. I literally haven't spoken to anyone until just now. But
this is going to be an interesting finish, a little T to the conference. Now you got Alabama tied with Auburn, Tennessee. South Carolina is not going away.
I think that's the other thing. I think that's also probably to Bruce, or I'm assuming that's why part of the reason that Bruce said the game was so important. I don't know. I didn't hear his pregame, anything that he said pregame. So I don't know what the context of that was. But, I mean, if Alabama would have won that game, I feel like they would have basically walked away.
No. If Alabama had won that game, they were going to be hard to track down in the conference.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
So that's probably why.
Especially for Auburn, because you'd have had a 2-game, you'd have had the tiebreak over Auburn.
Right. And it's just, it feels damn good to beat Alabama. Let me tell you that. Like the people, we had probably like 3 Alabama fans sitting in front of where the media were. And with, I think, like 4 minutes left, they got up and left. And I had to pull my phone out and start videoing. I was like, I'm not gonna do anything with this, but like, I just need it for when I have a bad day.
When you have a bad day, you're going to pull that video up and watch it? The sad goodbye?
I'm kidding, but like, it is good to see because of what I went through 2 weeks ago.
What'd you go with 2 weeks ago?
That was you, not away.
Oh, I don't say anything to her.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about I sat through that and then basically celebrated with the team trying to get videos. Which is like the biggest dagger to the heart that one can have.
Oh.
But I mean, I don't know. I kind of am speechless right now a little. Yeah. I don't know. That gives me a lot of confidence moving forward, though.
Are you already back? Are you already back to your car?
She's already back in Berkeley.
You're in the parking deck? Why are you in such a hurry?
Because I'm excited and I don't know what else to do with myself but walk fast.
You're not going to go roll Toomer's corner?
You could have.
No.
You could have stood still on the court and gave us a post-game report.
I don't know if you know this. Dunaway is very disappointed you didn't stay on the court.
Well, I don't like when a police officer tells me to do something and I'm going to try and flash this little piece of paper at them like they could care anything about that.
Look, lady, you get out of here, little lady.
Yeah, they're going to be like,
you Auburn fans get out of here. Don't enjoy the win.
Yeah, and everyone was off the court. It would have just been like me and my echoing voice. But I mean, that would have been fine. I don't know. I'm just like, I just need to move. Now I'm just dancing around the parking deck.
Don't you remember that post-game show we did with Taylor after that bad Auburn loss and she was pacing the hotel the whole time?
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I did. I don't think I said anything.
No, you just paced the hotel the whole time.
I remember the one where she was just sitting in the parking lot, sad. Was that an Alabama? The faces. Was that an Alabama loss or was that another loss?
I don't know. the amount of people that I talked to that said something about you, Dunaway.
About me?
Yeah, just about like Jimmy Bama. He didn't want to show up. And I stood up for you every time. I said he had a show to do. But I said I sure do wish he was here because if this goes the way I want it to, I would be insufferable on the way home.
Yeah. You would be? Wow.
I don't know.
It's so funny that when I'm Mr. Sportsmanship on the drive home and I'm like being so nice, you would be insufferable?
Well, when do I ever antagonize you?
Oh,
never.
Never?
No, I only give it to you back, but you give it to me first.
I know. But
no, I wouldn't be insufferable.
You don't know this, but everybody in the office says, get Taylor going. Get Taylor going.
Oh, I'm sure they do because it's comical to them. And my blood pressure is like very unhealthy. But okay, I have a question.
We love you for it though. We love it. Your unhealthy blood pressure. We love that.
That's like Auburn. I need to like stop moving. I'm just in a field now. But
I don't know where I am. I
don't know where I'm going. I'm just pacing. I want to like jump around and drink a beer. But
that's why you need me there, designated driver.
I know. Depressing beers on the way home and celebratory ones, or after losses, celebratory ones after win. But I do have a serious question.
Okay.
I noticed this with like 5 minutes left in the second half. I think Chaney Johnson played at the time that I looked at it, played 7 minutes and had 4 fouls.
That's hard to do. That is hard to do.
And 0 points.
Yeah,
I was like, is this a glitch?
Is this a glitch of the Matrix?
Yeah.
Bama Beth from up in Nashville says, you can't see it, so I'll read it to you. It says, Bama fan sending a congrats to you, Taylor.
Thank you, Bama Beth.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I don't have his minutes here in the box score. I don't have the official box yet, so I haven't done the minutes. But yeah, four personal fouls. He did get 2 boards though. And
thank God.
But you know, I was listening to I had to run out real quick, and Diabate picked up a foul and passing. They were carrying the Alabama broadcast on Sirius XM, and passing said he thinks Diabate leads the nation in fouls per minute played.
Yeah,
and he was being serious. I mean, passing was not kidding about that. The Diabate leads the nation in fouls per minute played.
No, Nate brought it up. Nate brought it up post game after the win the other night. Was like. He is very productive when he's in there. The problem is he doesn't get to play a long time because he fouls.
Yeah. He had 4 fouls off the bench. Yeah.
Yeah. Gina Korn writes in. Glad you can go to bed happy tonight, War Eagle.
War Eagle mom.
Do you not go to bed happy every night?
Not after Auburn losses, no. I try to wake up. I am so happy. I'm still in this field. I wonder when I'll get out. I just want to stay here. I miss it here.
We'll stay there. Brown and I will give you a vacation day. One of us will give you a vacation.
No, I don't. I want to come tomorrow and celebrate with everyone in the office.
Yeah, I mean, don't stay in the field, but go to a friend's house.
Well, no, I was gonna. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just still gonna hang out in this field. I also started nervous sweating in there so badly, and I couldn't stop. So I feel kind of good being out in the wilderness
out
right
the
now.
Cool, out in the cool, the cool.
Yeah, but
tell us some stuff, man. Tell us some more stuff. You were there. What else did you observe?
Okay, I have this video, which I'm not saying this as a statement. I'm gonna need clarification. I sent it to Forrester to try and get it, but after this is going back to Grant Nelson, after he fouled out, all the Auburn fans obviously were like waving, as the fans do, and with no profanity, by the way. And and I'm pretty sure that I got on video him like turning back around and stopping on the court and waving back.
He did. No. I saw it.
Okay.
You could see it on TV. They were showing it from the bench. He turned around and waved back. I didn't know, like, if he was signaling to his teammates or something. I didn't know what.
Okay. Well, I videoed it on my phone, but I was sitting in the media seat, so the video zoomed in, so it's like I didn't get it from the court, so it's super blurry, and I couldn't tell if his hand was waving or I couldn't tell what he was doing, so I didn't want to make a false accusation there. But
no, it seemed that way on TV. I will tell you that.
There were some Alabama fans there. I'm sure they were scattered around. There was like one little section of a row in the standing room thing, like diagonal for me. But a lot of them started to, like, when I was going back down to the court before the end of the game, they were starting to depart, but they were all very cordial, which I don't think that they would be mean to me for no reason. But I mean, if I leave a game like that, I'm pissed off. So that was refreshing.
I think we did this exercise a little bit on the show today, Dunaway. I think most Alabama fans kind of expected this. Maybe not to this degree, 99-81, but I don't
want to pull up my bookie account, but I expected it.
Well,
yeah, I was about to say, Dunaway, at least you made some money.
Yeah,
I did.
I went in during like halfway through, or it was when we went on a run late in the first half. I have been running around everywhere today, so I didn't put any money on anything. And late in the first half, I was like, here we go. And then I realized that all the people in the standing room were basically breathing down my back. And I was like, this probably doesn't look great that I'm pulling up my bookie while I'm sitting here doing this job. So I took it off my computer. I put it on my phone and like turned all the brightness down. But I also profited from the game.
I put every penny I still had, Brownie, on Auburn minus the points in this game today.
Minus 5.5.
Yep.
But you tried to landmine them so hard.
Oh, of course he did.
Well, I mean, you know how that works, the little T. Either I make a lot of money, or I get to poke fun at you.
Yeah, so you're happy either way.
Yeah, either way, I end up wealthy.
Yeah.
Everyone's joking, like, if you keep walking like this, you're going to leave your car in Auburn. You're going to be back in Birmingham on the walk.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I really don't either. You will not stop moving. You've got me nervous.
No, I'm just like so excited. I can't just sit down. I can't just sit there and be like, wow, that was a great win by the Auburn Tigers. Like, I need to celebrate, but I'm by myself in a field, so I can't. So this is how I'm doing it. I just need to get a little excitement out of my body.
Yeah, former athlete there, all-state athlete, Vestavia's all-time leading scorer in soccer.
I don't know if that's confirmed.
Oh, it's 100% true. Don't argue with it.
If we say it long enough, it is true. It is true.
I don't even know if I keep up with that kind of stuff. It's girls soccer.
Listen. I have pretended to be a sportscaster long enough that people ask me to do things now. So I've fooled them for 30 years. Eventually, you will be Vestavia's all-time leading scorer. True or not true?
These guys on the internet keep saying it, so I guess it's true. I also don't know how many people care about that anymore, but we can celebrate it.
Yep, celebrate it.
I'm to the baseball field.
Our
don't know if
coverage.
you
If you'd rather not walk fast after
I
games
can't.
in Auburn or Tuscaloosa, you'd rather get into a vehicle. You can do that with our friends at McCurry. Tell us about McCurry, Brownie. They bring us all of our basketball coverage the rest of the season.
They do. McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from: trucks, SUVs, passenger vans. They make it easy to rent. They get you in and out fast. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, and Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest, and Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. Reserve your rental today, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003, or McCurryRentals.com.
Don, Dad has checked in. Be safe roaming in the field by yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, my mom is probably having a panic attack right now.
Yeah,
I'm not that close from the parking deck. There are civilians around.
Yeah, I'm
I'm right.
getting
I'm
dad
right
vibes
by
as
South
well.
Donahue. No, I'm right by South Donahue. I'm safe.
Dave would like to know: can you actually go up to Tumors and show us being rolled? If you're at the parking deck, you're too far away to walk up there.
No, I'm not gonna walk, but I can drive past it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be too long.
Too long.
I mean, you guys aren't rolling Tumors Corner tonight, right? You'd have to basketball wins too. I thought it was just football wins.
Someone was doing a petition for us to start doing it. I'm in my car now.
Yeah.
To start doing it now, but I don't know if that ever happened. It was when we had the Final Four run that, like, after the Sweet 16 and all that, people were doing it, but
yeah,
that was obviously a different situation.
Yeah, those were big wins, so you guys may be rolling it tonight.
Yeah, because when Alabama comes to town.
Yeah. So you only roll it after football wins, big basketball wins, or when Alabama's coach leaves. That's when you roll it.
I refuse to believe that we rolled Tumor.
Saw a video of a guy it was like a kid. Wait, can y'all hear me still?
Yeah.
We can hear you. We no longer can see you.
Oh, sorry. Well, my phone just started trying to connect to my car. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. And now we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
You're back now. We lost you briefly.
Okay. I'll rewind a second. This boy, I'm pretty sure he's a student at Auburn, was at Tumors Corner the day that he retired, and he was like, "This is the greatest day of my life," and I quoted it, and I was like, I, as an Auburn fan, am so disgustingly embarrassed by this. This is.
You did do that. Yep.
But I don't know if it actually got rolled, fully. Or if it was just this boy out there. I think that was a rumor that someone started.
Yeah. It was a joke. I was only joking with you. I didn't mean to go into a serious conversation with you. So as we start to wind this down a little bit, how do you feel about your Auburn Tigers the rest of the way, though, now with virtually a 4-way tie atop the SEC? You know the games that are still left out there. Do you feel like this team can stick the landing and maybe win the regular season championship? Because I said they would go 6-0 on this tough stretch right here before they play Tennessee and Knoxville. They're halfway there now. They're 3-0. How do you feel about them? Well, you're just trying to leave. You're trying to do anything but do this report, right?
Jeez,
no, I'm gonna do it. I'm here. I'm present. I feel very good about them. I think especially after what happened at Ole Miss, that gave me hope that they're able to. If they're down, and at Alabama, really, I mean, they ended up losing the game, but we were down, 14.5, and I like the fight in them, if that makes sense. I feel like they don't hang their heads if they're down, which makes me feel good about, because, I mean, we have tough road games coming up. I don't know, I love this team, though. I think a lot of, I love Katie Johnson. I love Chad Baker. They have big personalities, which I like. I think a lot of opposing fans hate it, but I just think it's fun. It's fun to see them get mad. It's fun to see them celebrate. All the emotions are very.
I do too. I like people that talk crap to other players. I mean, that's it's more entertaining that way.
Oh, did y'all see the kid on Twitter? I saw this video. It was when the Alabama coaches were walking off at the end of the half. An Auburn player was like, there's those little gate things, they're not really gates, they're just cords basically. But they were leaning over it kind of, and they weren't pushing or anything, but he was just yelling at the coaches, at Nate Oates and one of the assistants. And the assistant, or I'm assuming he was an assistant, like turned around and kind of like, I don't want to say pushed, but like he kind of said like, get back over that rope. And the kid got thrown out of the entire game.
Oh no, they threw him out of the arena?
Oh.
Yes. And I was like, he did not, the kid, like he was leaning over the thing, but he didn't lay a hand on anyone. He was just, I don't know what he was saying, but yeah, I was like, that's sad. That was an exciting game to get kicked out of, and he probably slept overnight because he was that close.
Yeah.
Neville Arena security better than Alabama's defense.
Oh, no. No, in the video, I need to send you all the link to the tweet, because in the video, whoa, my phone fell.
You okay? Oh, God, I thought you wrecked.
I did
No,
too.
I didn't. I'm like in standstill traffic.
Well, finally, she gets to stand still and do the post game. Thank God for traffic.
Thank God. The security guard is like daydreaming, and he doesn't even realize what's going on until the Alabama coach turns around and kind of pushes him a little bit, and then he's like, "Whoa, get this kid out of here! Get him out of here!" And I was like, "Oh, poor guy." He's probably celebrating with a cold beer somewhere, though. So.
All right, little T. Congratulations. Drive safely.
Woo!
Will you text us? Text me and let me know you made it home safely.
Yeah, I will.
I love you too, but I'm going to be asleep.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll be
fine.
awake. I mean, Brown, it's 9:00.
Oh, I'm going to bed as soon as we're done with this, Jim.
That's what I got out and I was expecting it to be 11. I think I'm trained from the last time we were here and we got home at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah. Listen, if you get sleepy, call. I'll be awake. Be careful. Congratulations. That is little T. That is Taylor Korn, our social media director, and she is that smile says it all. She's very, very happy, and she has left the chat. Being brought to you by our friends at McCurry. We'll put a wrap on it after Brownie tells you about McCurry.
McCurry Van and Car Rentals. You can rent from McCurry. They make it super easy, in and out fast at McCurry. They got locations to help you in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest, and Tuscaloosa on Skyline Boulevard, 256-559-1003, or McCurryRentals.com. I did quickly, I know we probably got some more comments before we go. I just kind of wanted to talk about what's coming up for both teams, because you've got this Auburn 6-0 prediction in this run, and what are they, 3 games in now? They're halfway through this?
That's right. 3-0.
3-0 at Florida. Not
easy. None of these were easy. That's why my 6-0 prediction was out there.
Yeah, and a game that gets more difficult by the day is South Carolina coming to Auburn. I mean, the South Carolina team's not going away.
It's Auburn, though. It's at Auburn.
It is in Auburn, yeah.
I mean, it's a different place. I mean, that's a different place. That place makes those players 10 points better.
And then Kentucky at Auburn, which, the Kentucky you saw last night, that was against Vanderbilt. That's not a very good Vanderbilt team, but that Kentucky you saw last night's a good team.
Listen, nobody's going to say this.
They're at Auburn.
Nobody's going to say this. The guard, I mean, there's so many players that makes Auburn really good. But when Jalen Williams has a great night shooting, nobody can beat this team. Nobody. He was 8 of 13 today.
Yeah.
When he did, if you go back and look at the Alabama game in Tuscaloosa, he had a horrible night shooting. And I think it was the first time he'd had a horrible night in a long time. And I don't think he shot well in Starkville. So both their losses, I don't think Jalen Williams shot the ball well, played well at all. When he shoots the ball well, they have so many other parts that are good. He's that extra piece that takes them to a different level.
Alabama is at LSU Saturday. Not a great LSU team. I think they got drilled by Tennessee, didn't they? I did not see the final on that. 88-68, so they lost by 20 at Tennessee. So Alabama is at LSU. They host Texas A&M and host Florida. So before they get Kentucky. So Alabama's got a chance to bounce back here. I think that should be 3 wins there. Should be 3 wins.
Yeah. All right. So that's where we are. Auburn 99, Alabama 81 tonight. So they split the series this year. Alabama winning in Tuscaloosa, Auburn winning in Auburn. Alabama had won 3 straight in the rivalry. Auburn gets the win tonight to end that 3-game winning streak. Nate Oates now only 6-4 against Bruce Pearl in Tuscaloosa, as Bruce gets a little bit closer to what Nate is against him.
Yeah, I think Bruce now 8-11 overall against Alabama. I think he was 7-11 coming into tonight, so he's 8-11 in this game.
Yeah, I don't know that to be the case. I can only tell you what I know. I will trust you on that one.
Trust me.
I will do that. Only the sixth meeting all time when both teams were ranked in the top 25, and Auburn has won the last two. Alabama won the first four of those. So the rivalry gets only better. Jamie Dykes kept saying it all night long. That's what Barkley called him the whole interview. Jamie. He kept saying all night long that maybe this is the best rivalry in the country. Maybe not tradition wise, but as much heat in this rivalry right now more than any other in the country. And there is a lot of heat in the rivalry right now. That's when they play each other right now. I'm always worried at the other's place whether or not something extra is going to happen. One thing sparks it, and we get a little fisticuffs or something with a crowd, a fan. That's why I am worried about this basketball rivalry right now. That's how much heat it has. Thankfully, we played 2 games at each other's courts this year, and nothing really horrible has happened.
No. Yeah, I haven't really worried about that. It is a heated rivalry, but, I kind of cringed at Jimmy saying that, but I can't think of one that I automatically would say, the obvious rival for a school is a bigger rivalry right now. Like, I'm trying to think of Kansas. I can't think of one for them.
Yeah, and Duke and North Carolina just ain't where it is
falling
right
off.
now.
Yeah, it's fallen off. It's still good, but it's nowhere close to what it was. Yeah, as I think about it, with Louisville as bad as they are, you can't make an argument for Kentucky and Louisville, can you?
Not right now. Not as bad as Louisville is. Ron's Bama pick says, Jim, I think Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and Kentucky could all make the Elite Eight in March Madness.
No, I would be shocked at that. I think any of those teams could make the Elite Eight. Was he saying all 4, you think, or just?
Yeah, he was saying he thinks all 4 of them could. He's not saying all 4 of them will.
Okay, yeah. One of those 4, any one of those 4 could certainly make the Elite Eight. I would agree with him on that.
Oh, Clint, that's a good one. Clint, Kansas State's got a little heat to it right now.
Well, but Kansas State's in the 70s in KenPom right now, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That was a good game the other night, but I just don't know how impactful it was on the national scene.
Yeah, but when the game was in Manhattan the other night, there was some juice to that. There was some
no. When overtime and Kansas State got the win.
Yeah.
But that's not a vintage Kansas State team right now. They've fallen off a little bit this year.
Hey, sign me up. I think Sears went 15 minutes to end the first half without scoring. He'd scored some in the first 5, but he went on some streaks tonight because of Auburn's defense. Sears still got to his number. He still got over 20. But they were a very quiet 20 tonight. Just a great defensive effort from Auburn. What did it end up being? Let's see. What am I looking for here?
What do you want?
There was one team stat that was.
I got really, the box score in front of me. What do you want?
I have to see it to believe it. Points in the paint, 40-26. Surprised Bama got 26 there.
Yeah, and, felt like a lot more than plus 14 for Auburn, didn't it?
Yeah, and fast break points, 16-8. Felt like a lot more for Auburn in that one than it was 16-8. They were out running all night long. So Auburn gets the win down at Neville Arena, where they're now 15 straight and 12-0 this season. And they're at Florida Saturday, and Alabama's at LSU. So hopefully both teams can keep winning, and they can stay at the top of the SEC standings, and we keep that streak going where the championships in the SEC run through our state. Much more in the breakdown. We'll get locker room reaction from both locker rooms tomorrow on the next round, 9 a.m. Central Time, on all these video platforms, plus on our audio platforms as well. Remember, like, subscribe. Thank you all for being with us. And Brownie, good night, and enjoy your bedtime, okay?
Thank you. I'm on my way now.